There we go. Welcome to Garden of the Spirit class studying apples from the orchard for the second time, beginning after Pesach 2014. This class meets in Longmeadow, Massachusetts, the center of the universe, and is held in memory of Malka Ruth Bas Moshe Margaret Vogel of blessed memory. Apples from the Orchard contains selections of teachings of Kabbalah from the Arizal Rabbi Yitzchak Luria, based on the weekly Torah portion, superbly translated and explained by Rabbi Moshe Wisniewski. We are at Shoftim, chapter 3, page 938.
That is correct.
This looks like it. Okay. All set?
Yep.
This chapter contains complicated Kabbalistic concepts, unlike the last few weeks. It discusses intricate details of the flow of divine energy through the spheres. It refers to Leah, which does not mean the person called Leah, but the supernal activity that she represented. Usually, Leah represents thought, expression that is contained in its source, and Rachel represents speech, expression that is shared with others. Rachel usually refers to Malchus, while Leah is Malchus in a higher form. I should write a higher form of Malchus, possibly connected with Das. We will do our best to follow what is beyond us and make the most of what we can grasp. In other words, hopefully we'll understand, and if we don't, we'll deal with it. One of the mitzvahs for a king is that he may not have many wives. Our rabbis understand that he is limited to only 18. After a long introduction, the Arizal will explain why the number of wives is 18. We will not get there tonight. I think it's 11 pages here. Okay, Alan.
Yep.
938, please. One moment. It's from 930. It's 12 pages. No, it can't be. Yeah, 12 pages. Alan, go ahead.
The conveyance of Leah's higher wisdom. He shall not have many wives. This is one of the laws concerning kings. As is known, our sages state that this means that a king is permitted to have up to 18 wives. This is based on the fact that when King David had 6 wives, and Hashem told him, I would add in those similarly and similarly again.
Okay. 3. There are 10 spheres, 3 of intellect and 7 of emotions. Each of the spheres is likewise divided into 10 subspheres, 3 of intellect and 7 of emotions. To minimize confusion, we will refer to them usually as sphera and subspheres. The spheres of emotion receive divine energy from the spheres of intellect. Specifically, the subsphere of Abba of emotions. That means I should have written the intellect of emotions, receives from the subspheres of emotions of Abba. Netzach, Hod, and Yesod, number 7, 8, and 9. And the subsphere of Ima of emotions receive. I wrote it like that. That's probably what it says. Of Ima of emotions receives from the subspheres of the emotions of Ima, Netzach, Hod, and Yesod, number 7, 8, 9. This this is really hard to follow. Let me explain in English. We start off with the 10 spheres. The first sphere is Chachma. Chachma contains 3. The top 3 are subspheres, Chachma, Bin, and Das, intellect, and the lower 7 Ze'er Anpin plus Malchus are the emotions. From the emotions of Abba, actually the lowest triad, are formed the intellect of the Sphira, the spheras of Ze'er Anpin. So that means Chesed, Gvura, Tiferes, and so on. Those spheres, their intellect, their subsphera of intellect, receives from the emotions, the subspheras, emotions of Abba. When it comes to the sephira of Ima, of Bina, we look at the lowest triad, the emotions of Ima, and that goes to form the intellect, specifically the Bina, of within Ze'er Anpin, the subspheres of Bina within Ze'er Anpin. So the first one from Chachma, from the emotions of Chachma, come the Chachma of the emotions, and from the emotions of Ima come the Bina of Ze'er Anpin, the intellect of Ze'er Anpin. Is that okay to everybody?
Yeah,
Has anyone lost or want me to explain again?
I think the last part you did summed it up.
Sums it up?
The last few words that you said summed it up.
Okay, so you got it.
I got it.
Okay. Um, go ahead from the bottom of 938.
I would like to explain this number. Know that the facet of its intellect that Ze'er Anpin receives from Abba is vested first in Netzach Hod Yesod of Abba. In order to be transmitted to Ze'er Anpin, the intellect or mentality of Abba must first be vested in Abba's own Netzach Hod Yesod, or triad of actualization.
Go ahead.
Similarly, the intellect it receives from Ima is first vested in Netzach Hod Yesod of Ima.
Um,
Again,
no.
okay.
4. Before they enter Ze'er Anpin, the emotions, Netzach, subspheras, Netzach Hod Yesod of Abba, are vested in the emotions, Netzach Hod Yesod of Ima.
Mhm.
Only then do these subspheres of Ima, including everything in them, the subspheres of Abba, do they enter Ze'er Anpin. That's a mistake. Only then do they enter, come on, Ze'er Anpin. Okay, you could read.
Then the Netzach Hod Yesod of Abba are vested in the Netzach Hod Yesod of Ima. After this, the Netzach Hod Yesod of Ima, together with all the aspects of divine light that we have said are vested in him, enters Ze'er Anpin.
Okay. Now these are called the Tselem of Abba and Ima. That means the lowest triad, the Netzach Hod Yesod, subspheres, of Abba and of Ima are called Tselem. Image. Remember this term because there will be more on this word later. Go ahead.
These mentalities derived from Abba and Ima are called the image Tselem of Abba and the image of Ima, respectively.
Okay. Now, as Netzach, one moment. As Netzach Hod Yesod of Abba and Ima descend into Ze'er Anpin, they bring Malchus,
Mhm.
the 10th sphera of both Abba and Ima, with them into Ze'er Anpin.
Mhm.
Go ahead, Alan.
The two subspheres of Malchus within Abba and Ima must perforce enter Ze'er Anpin with them. since they are lower than the Netzach Hod Yisod.
Mhm.
Thus, they are forced into Zer Anpin by the descending triads of Netzach Hod Yisod of Abba and Ima. Thematically, this means that expression, Malchus, is intrinsically tied to the drive toward self-actualization. Netzach Hod Yisod.
Okay, 7. These two malchus are not the lower form of malchus that follows Yesod, but a level that is higher than Zerampin, the emotions. They are called crowns because they influence the subsphera Yesod of both Abba and Ima, like the level of, they probably share properties with the level of Keser. And Keser is the crown, obviously it has a big influence. Here too, apparently it has an influence on Yesod within Abba and Yesod within Ima. This is the Malchus. Okay, go ahead.
These two sub-sephiros of Malchus are actually the two crowns of the two sub-sephiros of Yesod of Abba and Ima, as is known.
Okay, 8. Remember, the 6 spheres from Chesed to Yesod are called Zerampin and are the masculine component. The subspheres Netzach Hod Yesod that come from Abba and Ima are masculine. They're within Zerampin, and they're necessary for divine energy to flow to the intellect of Ze'er Anpin.
Mhm.
Alan, now.
Now, the sub-sephiros of Netzach Hod Yesod of Abba or Ima are masculine spheres. They are present in Zer Anpin for its own purposes, in order to act as vessels for its three aspects of mentality, as we said. The Netzach Hod Yesod of Abba or Ima clothe the intellect of these partsofim, acting as vessels that transmit these intellects to Zer Anpin.
One moment. They're present in Zerampin for its own purposes. They're spheres. They need to be there. On the other hand, the two malchus from Abba and Ima are feminine components. They are not essential parts of Zerampin. Rather, their purpose in being there is to cause Leah to emerge. Leah, it says, is behind the subsphera of Das of Zerampin. We said before that the subspheras, Netzach Hod Yesod of Abba and Ima, descend to subspheras of intellect, Chachma Bina Das of Zerampin. Remember, the emotions of the intellect are what descend to form the intellect of the emotions. If we match them up, Yesod aligns with Das, Chachma 1, Bina 2, Das 3. Netzach 1, Hod 2, Yesod 3. So Yesod aligns with Das. The subsphera, Malchus of Abba and Ima, descends with the subsphera Yesod and cause Leah to emerge from the subsphera of Das of Zerampin. Okay. Alan, your turn.
But the two sub-spheros of Malchus of Abba and Ima are feminine and are not present in Zer Anpin for its own purposes. Rather, they cause the parts of Leah to egress from Zer Anpin, which is situated behind the Das of Zer Anpin. Since Malchus is connected to Yesod, Leah is therefore connected to Zer Anpin at the point behind its Das. Leah is the higher parts of Malchus. The Netzach Hod Yesod triads of the higher parts of them are vested in the Chachma Bina Das of Zer Anpin in a one-to-one correspondence. Thus, Yesod of Abba and Ima is vested in Das of Zeranpin. This is why Leah is situated behind the Das of Zeranpin. Generally, Leah is identified with thought and Rachel with speech. Thought is the highest of the three forms of expression: thought, speech, action, and is most closely connected with intellect.
10. The Arizal will now go into great detail to describe the level of Leah. Actually, that should be to the levels of Leah. He explained it in connection with the teaching in the Gemara. Whoever walks 4 amos in Israel is assured to be accepted to Olam Haba, and with the twin sisters of Cain and Hevel. There are actually 4 states of Leah. All 4 Leah come from the 2 Malchus, Malchus of Abba and Malchus of Ima. The first Leah is attached to Yesod of Abba. The second and third Leah are attached to Yesod of Ima. As we said in number 4, Yesod of Abba is vested in Yesod of Ima. And then the fourth Leah is behind Zeranpin. Did we just say something's behind Zeranpin?
Yeah.
10?
Yeah.
At the point of Das.
Yeah. What was that? That was?
Leah is connected to Zeranpin at the point behind its Das.
End of first paragraph on the page
940 at the top.
in the book.
940 at the top?
I just read it in the light print, not the dark print,
Okay.
or both actually. Both.
Yes, both.
No,
there.
Malchus said
Hold
Leah.
on.
Oh, it just said Leah is connected to Zeranpin at the point behind his Das.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is, one moment. Oh, these are from the 2 subsevers of Malchus.
Mhm.
Okay. Jim, please okay, number 9 is what we said. Jim, please continue.
We have already explained 4 aspects of Leah issue from these 2 Malchus as follows. First Leah is connected to Yesod of Abba. The second and third are connected to the Yesod of Ima, which close the Yesod of Abba. The fourth is situated behind Zeranpin.
Okay, 11. The first and third Leah are radiances of Abba. The second and fourth are radiances of Ima. The order of the 4 are Abba, Ima, Abba, and Ima. So you don't have 2 Abbas first and then the 2 Imas. You have Abba, then Ima, then Abba, then Ima. The second and fourth that come from Yesod of Ima. The second is from Ima, while the fourth is actually from Abba. It just emerges at this point from Ima. Okay.
Okay, this is a little different. Now, the first and the third are radiances of Abba, and the second and the fourth are radiances of Ima. Thus, their order is Abba, Ima, Abba, Ima. For of the two that are connected to the Yesod of Ima, the first is a radiance of Ima, and the second is a radiance of Abba that simply emerges at that point. So it's the fourth.
Yes, that's actually the fourth.
This is a radiance of Abba. Okay.
Overall.
Yep.
There are 4 aspects of intellect in Abba: Chachma, Bina, and 2 from Das. We've had other places. I think we learned this. A Das actually has 2 components, Chesed and Gvura. So one of them goes to Chesed, and the other one goes to Gvura for a total of 4.
Mhm.
Okay.
Now, there are four aspects of intellect in Abba. So Chachma, Bina, and the sources of Chesed and Gevurah within Das. Even though we normally speak of three aspects of intellect, Das includes within its sources of Chesed and Gevurah, meaning the propensity to accept or to reject, since the purpose of Das is distinguishing and choosing. This is why the head tefillin have four compartments.
Okay, 13. The first layer is comprised of all four aspects of intellect in Abba. The second layer is comprised of the three lower aspects. The third layer is comprised of the two lower aspects, and the fourth layer is comprised only of the last aspect of the intellect of Abba.
All of these four radiances emerge as the first layer. The latter three emerge as the second layer. The latter two as the third layer, and the final one by itself, the states of Gevurah within Das of Abba, emerges as the fourth layer, which is the most external of all of them. First, all four aspects of Abba's intellect shine together. Then only the lower three, then only the lower two, and finally only the lowest one by itself.
All right. 14. Where do these four leah from Abba go? The first leah becomes the subsphera, Malchus of Abba. The second leah becomes the subsphera, Malchus of Ima. The first leah from the intellect of Abba shines outward and pierces until the second leah, which is at Malchus of Ima.
Mhm.
It emerges there and becomes the third leah. The second leah, which is an Ima, also shines outward and pierces Das of Zerampin. It emerges there behind the neck of Zerampin and becomes the fourth leah. This fourth leah is also known as the knot of the tefillin of the head. The tefillin, the box for tefillin of the head, goes on the front part of the top of the head, and the knot is at the back, on or just beneath the bone at the back of the head. So this knot is the third leah, with the fourth leah, I'm sorry.
Fourth.
And emerges, as we say, behind the neck.
Mhm.
Okay, page 941. Go ahead.
Furthermore, Malchus of Abba becomes the parts of we have called here the first layer. Malchus of Ima becomes the parts of the second layer. Then the first layer of Abba shines outward, breaking through to the position of the second layer, the Malchus of Ima, emerging there and becoming the third layer. Similarly, the second layer, Malchus of Ima, shines outward, breaking through the Das of Zerampin, emerging behind Zerampin's neck and becoming the fourth layer. This is known as the knot of the head tefillin, as is known.
All right, 15. Just as there are levels called Leah and Rachel, there are levels called Yisrael and Yaakov. As we've seen, the fourth Leah is the only one that emerges from Ze'er Anpin, or that leaves. How can I write that? Emerges from sounds like it.
Started,
Emerges behind Zerampin.
exits.
Exits. Let me write behind. Thank you. Okay. Its only match for interaction, what is this, the fourth Leah? Its only match for interaction is Yisrael, which itself is Zerampin, or Yaakov. Yaakov also emerges from the radiance of Yesod of Abba, out of Zerampin, just like the fourth Leah. The difference between them is that Yaakov is the male component from Yesod of Abba, while Leah is the female component from Malchus of Ima. This is why they're such a good match for each other, Yesod being Zerampin and Malchus being Nukva. Just as the personality Leah married the personality Yaakov, their corresponding levels interact as well.
Now, no. Since the fourth most external Leah is situated outside Zerampin, it couples only with Israel, which is Zerampin itself, or with Yaakov, which, as we know, emerges also from the radiance of Yesod of Abba that shines outside of Zerampin, exactly analogous to the fourth Leah. The difference between Jacob and the fourth Leah is the former's male, originating in the Yesod of Abba, and the latter is female, originating in the Malchus of Ima. That is why they can couple.
Okay. 16. The first Leah and the third Leah are Malchus of Abba and the radiance from it. They interact with Yesod of Abba, which is male. The second Leah is Malchus of Ima. It interacts with Yesod of Ima. Go ahead.
The first and third Leah, which are the Malchus of Abba, and the radiance emanating from it, couple with the Yesod, the male of Abba. The second Leah, which is the Malchus of Ima, couples with the Yesod of Ima.
Okay. One explanation for the tension between Cain and Hevel was that Cain was born with a twin sister, whom he married. Hevel was born with two twin sisters. I don't know if that's the right way to say it. They're triplets. So maybe with two triplets with sisters. Hevel felt that he was entitled to marry both because they were born with him. But Cain argued, as the oldest, he was entitled to a double share, this week's parsha in the Torah, and the second twin, was his to marry, Cain. This created tension between them. This was the source of their argument, and in the end, Cain just killed Hevel. But here we're focused on the twin sisters, not on the incident. Okay, go ahead, Jim.
Now, the Yesod of Abba was embodied in Abel, the son of Adam. He was therefore born together, with two twin sisters, who embodied the first and the third parts of him of Leah. Okay. Yesod of Ima was embodied in Cain, who was born with only one twin sister, his twin, who embodied the Malchus of Ima, which is the second Leah. So there were triplets and there were twins, really.
Yeah.
Huh?
There were triplets and there were twins.
Cain had a twin, and Hevel was part of triplets.
Yep.
But say his triplet sisters doesn't sound right, so I just say his twins.
Well, I said there were triplets. I didn't say
Yeah.
there were triplet sisters. There were three children born.
That's correct. So Hevel embodied Yesod of Abba. We just said in number 16 that Yesod of Abba interacts with the first Leah and the third Leah. Therefore, Hevel was born with two twin sisters. Cain embodied Yesod of Ima. Therefore, he was born with one twin sister who embodied Malchus of Ima, the second Leah.
Mm-hmm.
18. The fourth Leah shines outside Zerampin, behind the neck. Since it's outside, it was never born. It would have been Cain's second twin sister.
Mm. Interesting. Okay, what would have been his second twin sister? The radiance of Malchus of Ema that shines forth outside of Zerantum, becoming the fourth Leah, is not situated inside Zerantum, close to the Yesod of Ema, but rather on the outside. It, therefore, does not couple at all with the Yesod of Ema, that is, with Cain.
We said before that it interacts with Yisrael or Yaakov
Mm-hmm.
because they are Zeranpin. But this is what it says here.
Yeah.
Okay, 19 and page 942. Each of these four are called Leah, but they also have their own individual names. And as far as I got in the chapter, I didn't see it. Abigail, would you like to continue?
Keep in mind that all these four Partsufim are called Leah, even though they also have individual names, as we will explain.
20. We said back in number 5 that divine energy from the subsphere emotions of intellect, subsphere emotions of intellect or within intellect, that enter the subsphere intellect of the emotions are called tselem, image. All four Leah derive from the inner intellect of Zerampin, the emotions. This is the tzadi, the letter tzadi, the first letter of tselem.
Mm-hmm.
Um, We must also tell you that these four aspects of Leah derive from the inner mentalities of Zeranpin, which is known as the Sadik of the Tselim, which has been explained elsewhere and will be explained presently.
All right. 21. There are three states of intellect in Zerampin corresponding to the three letters of Ze'er, of Tselem. Go ahead, Abigail.
Let us return to this matter in brief. Know that there are three aspects of the mentalities of Zeranpin alluded to in the three letters of the word Selim, image. Selim is Sadik Lamed Mem.
22. Tzadi, the first letter, represents the inner intellect, while Lamed and Mem, the second and third letters, represent two aspects that are peripheral to the intellect. Tzadi has a value of 90 and refers to 9 sub-sephiros, each one containing 10 sub-subspheros. The letter Lamed has a value of 30 and refers to 30 sub-sephiros of Keser, Chachma, and Bina. And the letter Mem has a value of 40 and refers to 40 sub-subspheros of Keser, Chachma, Bina, and Das. So it's the same 3 plus 1 more. This is Tselem, Tzadi 90, Lamed 30, Mem 40. Go ahead.
The Tzaddik indicates the inner mentalities, while the Lamed Mem indicates the aspects that surround them. The inner mentalities refers to the 9 sub-sephiros from Keser to Yesod, each compounded of 10 sub-sephiros, giving 9 times 10 equals 90, the numerical value of Tzaddik. The numerical values of Lamed and Mem are 30 and 40 respectively, referring to the triad of Keter, Hakma, Bina, and the 4 sub-sephiros of Keser, Hakma, Bina, Das, considered collectively, and compounded of 10 sub-sephiros each, giving 3 times 10 equals 30, and 4 times 10 equals 40. These two ways of considering the intellect and super intellect are relatively surrounding, makif, since they do not consider how the intellect is manifest in the emotions. In contrast, the full array represented by the tzaddik does consider the intellect manifest in the emotions and is therefore considered inner penimi, referring to how the intellect has entered into the emotions.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Whole lot there.
Yes.
Yeah.
This idea of Tselem is true for the intellect of Zerampin that come from both Abba and Ima.
Mhm.
Abigail?
Oh, sorry. This is true of the Selim of the mentalities of Zeranpin derived from Ima, and the same is true of the mentalities of Zeranpin derived from Abba. Thus, there is Selim derived from Abba and a Selim derived from Ima.
However, before you get too comfortable with that idea, the term Tselem refers primarily to the sub-spheros, Netzach Hod Yesod, that come from Ima.
Mhm.
This can be seen in its gematria, which is 90 plus 30 plus 40 equals 160. The gematria of expanded spelling of Hashem's name Ekyeh, when expanded with yuds, we can expand the hey three ways. When it's expanded with yuds, it is Aleph, Hey, Yud, Hey, which is 111 for the Aleph, 15 for the Hey, 20 for the Yud, and 15 for the final Hey, which gives us 161. And as we say, close doesn't count, except in horseshoes, hand grenades, and gematria. Ekyeh is associated, and the name Ekyeh is associated with Ima, the female aspect, and therefore, Tselem refers primarily to the Netzach Hod Yesod within Ima.
Ima. Mhm.
Okay, go ahead.
Nonetheless, know that the term Selim refers mainly to garments of the mentalities, i.e. Netzach Hod Yesod of Ima. This is seen in the fact that the numerical value of Selim plus the Kolel is the same as that of the name Ekyeh spelled out with the letter Yud, which signifies Ima. Ekyeh is Aleph Hey Yud Hey. Aleph Lamed Pei, 1 plus 30 plus 80, 111. Hey Yud, 5 plus 10 is 15. Yud Vav Dalid, 10 plus 6 plus 4 is 20. Hey Yud, 5 plus 10, 15, 161 total.
Okay,
Selim is Sadiq, Lamed Mem, 90, 30, 40 equals 160.
good, thank you. Tselem refers to the emotions within Ima, Netzach Hod Yesod. The emotions are a lower part of intellect. Yeah, when you have Ima is a sphere of intellect. So Netzach Hod Yesod is the lower part, or the lowest triad. Tselem does not refer to the intellect within intellect, which he also calls here the lights of Ima. It's not the subspheres Chachma, Bina, and Das of Ima, only the emotions in the lower triad.
Thus, Netzach Hod Yesod of Ima are termed the Selim, but the mentalities themselves, i.e. the lights, are not termed Selim. Relative to each other, the Chachma, Bina, Das of the parts of are lights, which are while the Netzach Hod Yesod are the vessels as stated above.
Okay, we'll do one more paragraph. I started the note and finished. I don't think I finished. Although he said Selim refers primarily to emotions within Ima, it can also refer to emotions within Abba. In number 4, we said that the emotions of Abba are vested in the emotions of Ima. So they kind of dress themselves up within the emotions of Ima. And therefore, and this is all the way back in number 4 in the beginning, as they descend into the intellect of the emotions. So therefore, there is some integration there between Abba and Ima. And therefore, Abba can also be referred to as Selim. Go ahead, Abigail.
Netzach Hod Yesod of Abba, which also serve as vessels for the four other mentalities, are also termed Selim. For when Netzach Hod Yesod of Abba enter Netzach Hod Yesod of Ima and are vested in them, as we mentioned in the beginning of this exposition, and the radiance shines forth outside, it must pass through Netzach Hod Yesod of Ima.
Mhm.
Therefore, also termed Selim. There is thus a tselem of Abba and a tselem of Ima, both of which are vessels, i.e. Netzach Hod Yesod, but their respective mentalities are not termed tselem.
Okay.
Okay.
The respective mentalities, that's the intellect, that's not called self. So I did finish this.
Yep.
Okay, give me a second. Let's do a step share.
Are you okay for Mincha?
Mincha 7:05 today.
Okay.
I think Rudy must have
He
come right over. Okay, everybody. Yes, next week should be fine.